Atana Habte-Dinka is an assistant professor in history at James Madison University and joins us from Harrisonburg in Virginia. Welcome to the programme. What do you make of this airstrike in Mekelle?
Thank you. The airstrike that happened earlier today is part of the war that resumed mainly from the push from the federal government in Addis Ababa, but the war really restarted 2 days ago. But unfortunately, the bombardment today hit the school children or the base where they spend their day in Mekelle. But the most important thing is about the timing now, because there was a ceasefire over the last 7 months. It's important to have some insight about why this war resumed right now and not over the last few months. As everyone might have known, since the federal government forces were defeated and were forced to leave the territory of Tigray, Tigray was under effective siege, receiving no fuel, no electricity, no communication, no banking. The Addis Ababa government must have thought by now that Tigray forces are at their weakest point right now. So the organization and the relaunch of war is important. But what we shouldn't miss is the war in Ethiopia right now is not just in Tigray. Ethiopia has lots of war fronts, particularly in Oromia. War has never stopped since 2019, when the federal government opened fire on Oromo Liberation Army. So in that sense, the word resumption of war is not really accurate, because the federal government calculates about its ability and the timing. When it opens fire on one side, it seems to show some pretension of negotiation with the other side. During the time of pretending for negotiation with Tigray, it was continuing its war throughout Oromia, in western part, southern part, and central part.
Okay, so let me just ask you, forgive me for interrupting, but given what you say, what does this mean for what is already a desperate humanitarian situation?
It's absolutely very bad for people in Tigray who were already receiving no medical facilities, no banking, and no internet. So the resumption of war in Tigray would mean a lot of price for civilians. And the continuation of war in Oromia would mean much more price, again, for the people living in many parts of Oromia. So while the two sides fight, the civilians would be paying a heavy cost, which is quite unfortunate.
Okay, Atana Habte-Dinka, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.